Well, good evening. Just to wrap up of the council meeting and the work session for the City of Grand Rapids for September 28th, 2015. A couple of important areas to cover under the work session. One was, it was also dealt with under consent, but Tony Ward was in from the Public Utilities Commission, and he talked about automatic meter reading and upgrading of that system. There are a lot of benefits to it, and we're going to be doing some funding and financing. It has a payback in less than 4 years, and it's going to eventually, it will not necessarily save money, but it will slow down the increase in rates on the PUC side. So I guess you can call that a savings if you can hold your costs steady going out into the future. Very nice improvements out there on the electric and on the water side. It's a project that's going to take probably as much as 4 or 5 months on the electric side, and it could take a little longer because of the number of water installations that have to be done on the water side. Barb Sanderson was in, former council member, talking about Indigenous Peoples Day coming up on October 12th from 11 until 1. It looks as though we're going to have over 400 fourth graders on the old Kramer's parking lot over there as we celebrate our first Indigenous Peoples Day in the city of Grand Rapids. Grand Rapids is one of 4 communities. St. Paul, Minneapolis, Red Wing, and Grand Rapids have designated that day, the second Monday of October, is Indigenous Peoples Day to celebrate Native Americans and their culture and heritage. We also went through our preliminary budget, and we now have an agreed to number that we are going to look at. The city's tax rate in payable 15 was 79.245. What you will be seeing coming out, we send it over to the county tomorrow, is the city's tax rate has dropped slightly, and for 2016 it's going to be 79.232, so a slight drop on the city side on the tax rate, which is always good. We want to thank staff and the department heads for all the work that they've done in putting this budget together in order to do the trimming and the work that's needed in order to come in with a budget that, as Council Member Zabinski said, doesn't have any frills in it. What we're proposing tonight is in all likelihood the number that will be approved when we come forward with the final one in December. On the consent agenda, just a couple of things that I want to talk about. A lot of resolutions this evening. One was to a grant agreement for airport improvements. Second one was some resolution accepting a grant from IRRB. The big part of that is there's like $200,000 out there for costs associated with the Rife Performing Arts Center, and then another smaller amount for Civil Air Patrol building that's going to be taken care of. We also had a resolution for a Blandon Foundation grant to assist in funding a facilitator for our government collaboration group. Government collaboration is a group that's been meeting its area communities, so La Prairie, Cohasset, Grand Rapids, some of the townships have been getting together and find out areas in which they can partner and we can work together to save costs for all the entities involved. A little off the regular agenda, Paula Johnson was appointed to the Planning Commission. Dale Christie is a substitute for Ed Zabinski on the Range Association of Municipalities. Matthew Levine is our new, or we're hoping will be our new building and fire inspector. He needs to accept the offer. There was an offer made to him. He has not accepted that yet, but upon acceptance, he will be starting at some time in the future. We had a couple of public hearings this afternoon or this evening. First one was around the Small Cities Development Program, the money that is out there for residents in a quadrant of northwest Grand Rapids, whether it's businesses or residential rental properties, that you can come in and you can borrow some money, you can get some money that is forgivable. It's either at 60 or 70%. The commercial is at 60% and you have to match 40. The residential is 70% and you have to do 30. But it's a great way to do home improvements or to do business improvements. We have 5 businesses that are taking advantage of that right now. On the commercial side, there's potential that we could have 6. but we have 5 that are taking advantage. So if you're a business in that Highway 2 corridor from Highway 38 all the way out to Toivos, going out of Grand Rapids, you should probably get a hold of Amanda McDonald and talk to her about that. There is opportunity to do one more loan in that area, or if you are looking and you're a homeowner and you're looking at some improvements on your home, she said that there was funding for maybe 1 to 1.5 on that side, but there's also on the rental side, there is the room to have several on the rental side where you could apply and get some money to help pay for the cost of upgrading your facilities. We vacated 5 pieces of property. 4 of them went without any controversy. The 5th one really was not any controversy other than the property owner that abuts the abated or the parcel of property that was going to be vacated sees no need for them for a use, so we amended that one on that piece of property, and the city will retain the south half of the piece of vacated property, and we will look at addressing an issue as it relates to water and freezing of water lines due to traffic flow across that piece of property. We paid the bills, and we look forward to seeing everyone again in 2 weeks. Hope everyone gets out and has a chance to enjoy the great fall we're starting to have. And I'm not sure if you were able to see the blood moon last night with the clouds, but if you have to, I guess you could go on and see it on TV and see some pictures from some other parts of the country that didn't have the cloud cover that we had. So have a good evening, and we'll see everyone in 2 weeks.